of the New York Titans versus the Washington Admirals. After Game 1, New York leading the series 1-0 with a big 135-110 win. New York started down after the first half and got it done in the second.
Yep, for sure. And, it was those key star players we were talking about, and that's what makes some of the news that came in between games such a problem. Rachel Ilesilver out for the rest of the series. We saw her go down at the end of the last play, checked on by the trainers. She will not be playing for the rest of the night. So now New York has to adjust. They're going to need some big step-up performances from Carrie Donnelly and from Tessa Mullen.
Yeah, they're totally going to, and that's going to be massive going into this game because Ilesilver allows Devin Lee to go crazy. Like, Devin Lee and Ilesilver's consistency and their effort together and what they're able to do as a pair is just dominant. Ilesilver's all over every single play, cleaning up after. Lee's looking for the engages, and Ilesilver's that free beater. She's flying all over the field. She's making every play. She's the one forcing a lot of the turnovers. And that's the key for a lot of those really aggressive plays to make something happen. And when she was out there, it allows them to do it. So it's going to be really key for this New York team to make big plays from their other free beaters for Tessa Mullins to come up and for Carrie Donnelly and others along those lines.
And, yeah, Mullins did play a good shift with Lee at the end of the game there. On the Washington side, they need more answers for this Mark defense. They, struggled too long against it. They should be the better quaffle game. They should be able to put this game away further. Ultimately, New York did catch a snitch there, yes, but they also only lost the quaffle game by 10 points. And the thing is, they're going to be favored in these snitch situations. They have more experienced seekers they can throw at this snitch than Washington does. We saw Generate, we saw some Trudeau, but Trudeau's playing big minutes, and Generate still, has those moments of inexperience. That one mistake that really cost him in that one.
And when we saw it in this game, Generate trying to go for a snitch that he's not in control of, takes sort of like a half shot at, and allows Cupid to get a full shot plus with no defense from a snitch. It's just an easy play for Cupid to make, and Cupid gets it done. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's the hardest catch in the world or the easiest catch in the world. Cupid got it done, and that's the key to every single catch. If your seeker is getting it done when it matters, that's the key, and Cupid got it done, and it was a beautiful play. And if you're Washington, you have to get a catch, too, in that situation. They had control of that snitch at least 70% of the time. They were all over it there, and Jenner and Trudeau could not get through Cooper. And if it's going to be Cooper all 3 games, which we assume it's going to be, what are you going to do here if you're Washington? You have to win the quaffle game by a lot more.
Yeah, they have to be a lot more dominant and maybe, devote a few less resources over there. And the other thing is, New York was happy to go into their depth and play their youth in that game. Washington, as you said, was really battening down the hatches in terms of their lines. We saw only 2 lines. And that's going to pay dividends for New York as the series goes on. I mean, some of these young players, like the Ying twins and Annika and Leo Fried, this is their first time playing against these kind of club players. They weren't ready to get hit. They weren't ready for the pace of play. And, every single game they play, they're going to be a little bit more ready for that. While they need to not put out the same product over and over again.
And I talked to Leo Fried at the end of that game. He looks at me and just goes, I got put down a lot. I gotta play the right way. And he knows, and they all know. They know they made like little mistakes, these little things that don't bite them in the college game when the players aren't as fast, the players aren't as big, and the players aren't as dominant in those situations. And so they straight up know how to adapt that. Washington can't expect young rookie mistakes from New York to keep happening. They have to play better in the half court and get more chances in the fast break because they're really, really good in the quaffle game. And I think the key is going to be Nardone. I think Nardone has to play big time, and I think Burgess and Hicks had to play big time right now to get that done.
Yeah, and as well, I mean, we saw Heather Farnan have some really good shifts there, and she's another one of those younger players who's playing at this level for the first time. She's never really played against a Devin Lee before, and it was a learning experience, but I expect her every game to be getting better just in the way that those young New York players
Even
were.
Colin Bourne, who got in there late in that game and played really well. It's going to be really interesting to see what Washington does to adapt. I want to see them have more screens. I want to see them have more movement and in the half court sort of opening up these drivers to get certain looks instead of just trying to find these aerial threats every single time that New York is taking away in their mark.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Admirals probably weren't ready for Mark. I don't think they expected New York to bring Mark out. So, now they've had 15 minutes to talk it over and adjust. Maybe the fireworks got in the way a little bit, but, outside of that, they could definitely have some communications.
And we do love a nice little firework display plus a fire on the pier. It did light on actual fire. So, really not the only fire that we're seeing out there.
And not the only fireworks we're seeing because we're seeing plenty on the pitch.
All right, we're going to get right back into the game. We're flipping it back around, getting ready to start Game 2 with new starters already on the line for Washington and New York looking like they're kind of setting the same starting lineup.
Yeah, Washington switching to their other line. And, first of all, that's putting their 2 coaches into the game in Tyler Trudeau and Julia Bear. It's also starting the game with Riley Stars, who, had some big minutes for this team in some crucial spots throughout that game. So I like the, rewarding your players for performing.
I do too, and played really well, as they enjoy what I appear is a camera on the hoop.
Yep.
That's cool. I like that. Good job, MLQ. Good job, you and Nick Jablonski mostly.
Yeah.
And Dallas and whoever else is here doing things with film. But anyways, Tyler Trudeau starting at keeper, Dale Farnan, Riley Stars, Julia Bayer at the Chasers, Zane Bila, and Katrina Hicks at beater, just like last game to start for New York. It's Mike Lee, Molly Potter, Lindsay Morella, John Jackson at the quad position, Jackson at keeper, and Jason Ng and Devin Lee at beater.
You mentioned all the people on the cameras. You didn't mention the lovely Lexi Bedell.
Oh, Lexi Bedell, who's running one of our cameras. Love her.
And we're ready to get started here.
Game 2 under the lights.
I feel like the playing under the lights just makes the game a little more memorable. I can remember some really great Quidditch matches that were played under the lights, and I think it just makes it stand out a little bit more in your brain.
Can confirm playing under the lights is a lot of fun. We got a good crowd here as well. All right, there's the brooms up. Ooh, big battle at the front of the line. It's going to be Washington Quaffle to start this play. But Devin Lee beat out Trudeau immediately on this play. Ball's going to roll out of bounds. I think it's New York's going to have Quaffle.
Yep, that's going to be the call. And that kind of sums up the game where the Washington Quaffle game does everything right until Devin Lee shows up.
Okay, mass substitutions for both teams right now. Cody Nardone coming into the game. Heather Farnan coming into the game back at beater. New York making a massive line shift. It's Kellen Cupid and Tessa Mullins to start this game at beater for New York. And it's Jackson, Morella, Yanko, and Mike Lee. Mike Lee now with Quaffle behind the hoops. Kicks it out to Yanko. Yanko over to Morella. Morella covered by Bear.
I think the fear for this New York offense, the one they're running, the kind of box they're running against zone, is that they don't have that person who's going to hit that shot. Mike Lee does not look like he's that interested in hitting that crossing mid-range shot.
No, he isn't. He's got a chance here. He's going to fake. He's going to shoot. Hits no good. Goes low. Morella does get the rebound. Kicks to Jackson. Jackson misses a beat. Lee dodges the tackle. Now another tackle. Brought down hard. Morella's got it. Brought down hard again by Stars. There's going to be a call here most likely, but the ball still loses the ground. Jackson picks it up, and he scores.
We're waiting for a call here from the refs.
There was a lot of physicality in these things, a lot of big hits, a lot of what potentially erring on the side of legality hits, these big type of hits. Okay, it's a neck tackle on Riley Stars here. Yeah, so Riley Stars neck contact there on that tackle on Morella. It's going to be Morella's Quaffle here. The goal is no good. Jackson must have missed it or got beat here, which means Morella's going to start with his Quaffle right at the top of the zone. Bludgers are one's on the ground, and I don't see the other one.
We've got one in Mullins' hands, one on the ground.
Nardone's got it. There it is. All right, Morella's just going to slow it down. She's going to take it all the way to the half line. She's going to direct some traffic, make sure everyone's on her side of the field before she starts the possession.
Yeah, get Jen Jackson back in there.
Yanko with it. Yanko. Morella to Jackson. Oh, Cupid made a nice catch on Nardone. Nardone then makes a tackle and definitely is going to be behind the back here. And it's going to be a free play. Here's Mike Lee. Mike Lee over to Yanko. Yanko. Really patient. New York is playing a lot slower in this half court. Over to Morella. There's a lot of hands up. Morella to Jackson. Jackson. Shot. No good. Mike Lee gets the rebound. Shot. No good. Jackson gets the rebound. Shot. Is good. 10-0.
So we'll wait for a call. And, it looked like Washington, I don't know if it was a full-on mark, but they were definitely playing something a bit of more of a mark concept. And like we were talking about, what we were worried that New York would give up but never did was all those shots. And that was just a shooting gallery.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to play some type of mark. And you can't. The 2-2 zone isn't going to work the way you want it to when Riley Starks is on the bench or is in the box. Like, it just changes everything when your player's in the box.
So the goal is good. Jackson puts it through.
So I'm confused here about one thing. So there's a yellow card on Nardone, but Stars is in the box. Nope, there it is. Okay, never mind. So Jackson scored. Score is 10-0 off of the shooting parade between Mike Lee and John Jackson that eventually got to the Jackson goal. Riley Stars is going to come back into the game. The goal kills his penalty, but Nardone's penalty goes to the box. So because Stars is already in the box, he's the one who's going to come in.
Yep, so a long possession works out for New York, and now Washington's immediately behind the 8-ball, playing down a beater.
And there's no question, playing down a beater is so much worse than playing down a chaser.
But what's interesting is, New York could have gone for an immediate press. Instead, they're just going to back it up, let their beaters work. Because with that new hard boundary that is your own keeper zone, they could have met them, right there and try to high press. They're just going to settle on their defense. I don't hate the call. We'll see how it works out.
I think it's a hard call to make when you have like a young beating pair in there right now. And Farnan is going to block a beat. Nope, she's getting beat. Farnan now driving. Farnan wrapped up by, beat here by Mullins, and now Jackson's going to turn it around the other way. Jackson driving. Jackson kicking to Mike Lee. Mike Lee dodges the beat. Mike Lee shoots, and he scored. Taken down on Farnan on the way there, and Mike Lee strutting it on the way back.
Yeah, big play there from New York. It all started with Kellen Cupid winning the exchange with Heather Farnan. Mullins did a great job cleaning it up on the press, forced the turnover, and, it's very free in transition for the pair of Jackson and Lee.
20-0 the score. This Washington team has not come out the same way we thought they would. They've come out slow, they've come out methodical, and they have not been with the same energy. They're playing a little sluggish at the moment. New York's very fast.
It feels like they got punched in the face in game one. They haven't really settled down from it yet.
Trudeau looking for Bear, and it's not home. It's going to be out of bounds.
And Trudeau is very unhappy with the refs along the way. Bloodsher control is also not going to be turned over. It's still in the hands of Mullins and Kellen Cupid, who are putting up a very good shift, a pair we weren't expecting to see today.
No, it's just athleticism. He's just Mullins and Cupid are everywhere. Here's Morella. Morella dodges the beat. She's going to keep the quaffle. Nice little play to keep it. Little fumbles. Oh, no, Jackson couldn't handle the little skip pass. Trudeau's got it. He's tackled immediately by Jackson. Loose ball on the ground. Farnan's going to pick it up. There's a whistle. There's a hands up from the referees. Stars is breaking a tackle there. There's a bludger that just missed. Stars is looking for anyone, trying to find Trudeau. Jackson blocks it. It's going to be New York ball.
Yeah, but there was an advantage to do that entire fast break sequence, so we'll see what the call is. Wild start again here. We saw kind of a wild start in game one, and it's starting to pick up that way again here in game two.
And it's chippy again. It's a lot of hits, a lot of people flying all around the field and just trying to make scramble hits, and it keeps happening on every play. I mean, this is the third card, and we're, maybe 2-3 minutes in the game?
Yeah. And
3 minutes in the game, says Nick Jablonski.
And, I think that pass from Morella, which might have been our only option, was a little too cute by half there. Jackson wasn't quite ready for it. Forced the turnover. Jackson picks up the card, I think, for the hit that he immediately entered into after that turnover happened.
So that's going to be...
So Jackson's getting called for propelling into his hit.
Gotcha. So it's going to be a yellow card. It's a 1-minute penalty. Yellow cards are stacking penalties for those who don't know. It's 3 stacking penalties and then removed from the game. All right, Trudeau with Quaffle at the top of the zone. Mullins with a bludger. Trudeau driving. Goal. Easy play from Tyler Trudeau. 2010.
Yeah, big of Washington there to take advantage of their opportunity, get one on the board, really stop the bleeding here early, because their beaters have been outplayed so far. I was going to say but we're seeing Kellen Cupid and Tessa Mullins happily sitting way up in the zone without their Quaffle players even there. They feel confident right now.
And Katrina Hicks has come in, and that's going to be trying to stop the bleeding. Zach Armour trading into the game at keeper for New York. It's Jackson at chaser. Jackson driving over to Yanko. Yanko spinning, dodges the tackles, keep faking. Another fake, shoots. Yanko scores. 30-10.
And this is New York reaching into their depth. It's what we were talking about. Armour trading in the game for the first time. Yanko gets a goal there. He didn't play very much in game one. They're not scared to try everything right now.
And Trudeau has not been as physical around the hoops as Cole has. His tackles aren't hitting the same way Cole's are, and it's allowing New York to make plays. Trudeau behind hoops to Bayer. Bayer. Over to Trudeau. Oh, they lost him. 30-20. It's too easy. Trudeau to Bayer, back to Trudeau. Those two have been playing the give and go for years.
I think the problem here is that we were underestimating how important the movement of Jackson or Freed, whoever's the keeper at any given time, has been for this Mark defense to track those drives. And that's, in that case, Armour trading completely lost track of Trudeau.
Ooh, there's a loose ball here. Armor Train's trying to fight for it. Eventually, he's going to get it. He tried to flip it to Iannucci, and he does, but Armor Train's going to keep it. I like how Farnan and Nardone were putting that pressure. Mullins tried to make a crazy beat in the beginning of the play and just got beat out forward and allowed that pressure.
Minson and Donnelly now in as the beating pair for New York, so it ends the shift. Very strong one there out of Mullins and Cupid.
All right, Minson now into the game at beater with Donnelly. Stars gets beat. Here, pressure. Out to Iannucci. Iannucci up top looking for Armor Trading. Armor Trading can't handle the pass, but now he cleanly gets it. Armor Trading trying to drive on Bayer. Rakes the tackle. Fakes. Another broken tackle. He's going to get beat here. Stars has it. Stars is going the other way. He just runs into Minson, but he flips it back to Trudeau nicely. Now Trudeau's driving. Trudeau slows it down when he sees Minson, though.
Yeah, I love what I've seen from Stars today. Just always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
And it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, Trudeau already on a brace with 2 goals. Looking to make it a hat trick here and get them all squared against this really deep depth line coming out of New York here early in game 2.
Nardone looking for the beat on Minson. Forces Bludgers on the ground. There's Stars, and it's easy. New York lost another one. There's Stars getting free 30-30.
Yeah, and we talked about how Mark has to be executed so well or the holes start forming. You can see the cracks on these last few possessions. These Washington players are streaking towards hoops wide open.
And it's interesting the way we're seeing because it's a different group of depth. It's players who I don't think have the high-level athleticism that we've seen from the young college players. While they made mistakes, their athleticism allows this mark to get done. Burgess is going to get beat, but he's going to throw it back to hoops. This ball out to Iannucci. Iannucci, dodges the tackle there. Passing over to Rafa. Rafa gets beat immediately. Ball's loose on the ground. Fight for it. It's going to be dove on by what looks like Justin Cole.
Yep, Cole into the game now. 3-3. A good attempt there. Just the beat getting in there just in time. Frank Minson's really fighting for this one with Burgess.
He might get it too, but no, Melissa Smith's back there. Oh, he caught it!
What an insane play from Frank Minson.
And now Smith gets beat. Now Minson can put a ton of pressure. Cole over to Bear. Bear gets beat. She throws it to no one. Iannucci's got it. What a play from Frank Minson.
And that's what we talk about. It's been the individual plays from Minson and from Cupid and from Lee that have been so huge.
Iannucci just can't hit the shot. Tried to one-on-one Cole, and Cole just scared him from continuing that drive. 30-30 to score. That's the enemy needs a goal there for New York. Iannucci couldn't find it, couldn't land it. Didn't want to take Cole on one-on-one, which is fair. Cole has been dominant at the hoops.
Yeah, 7 minutes and 30 seconds in here, and Washington kind of survived that early onslaught, but now they need to thrive, especially against this more depth line. You've got a fresh Justin Cole, and let's see if he can work.
Smith's going to try to get Bludgers back. This is a give and go again from Barron, Air, and Cole, and Jackson picks it off and goes the other way and scores. John Jackson all by himself.
And that's the difference. Washington was getting a little comfortable with the lanes that they were hitting, but a player like John Jackson is going to start sniffing that out, and he's going to sub right out after that.
40-30 score. Brian Mulcahy coming into the game with David Littleton and Rachel Heald. This is the second line for Washington. They're back into this game. There's a ref call for something.
I'll have to wait and see.
Hate waiting and seeing. Ethan, I just want to know now. Right, the score is 40-30. New York playing really, really well in that defensive zone, changing with Jackson. But the question is, Jackson's gone. So are these give-and-go passes going to find home again that Washington's been all over?
Well, it'll be interesting to see, when Leo Freed kind of comes into the game to potentially be that flexible hoop stopper. They kind of switched off. They put a little together. So Washington's going to get bludger control out of this. A real nice opportunity here to get back on the board.
All right, double blood turnover, Washington's Bludgers.
It's the Maryland line of a few years ago in Balia.
Bila and Smith.
Yep.
Healed with Quaffle. Healed. Probing, looking to drive. Oh, he just almost second-guessed herself as she shot, and it threw it right into Armor Trading.
Devin Lee has already beaten out the entire team.
We love that. And now Devin Lee's putting pressure. Oh, nice little jump beat. Here comes Paguada. Paguada down to the right side, going around the hoops, getting wrapped up, and hit hard by Mulcahy.
Huge play on 2 different people there. Bila to finally win a big exchange by Lee, and then a huge hit by Mulcahy.
And Paguada is shaken up here. He is able to get back to his feet, which is great to see. But big hit from Mulcahy. Trying to take Mulcahy on one-on-one is hard.
Yeah. It's taking a lot of these players on is hard. There have not been a lot of drives to the hoops by any means. I think we've seen a couple from Minson, maybe a couple from Trudeau and Jackson, but that's really been it. Nobody can get by these people.
No, and that's what this league is just these type of plays.
So just the penalty there.
it looks like it's Michael Johnson Jr. coming into the game for Eric Paguada. He was able to walk off the field on his own accord. Waiting for the restart.
Michael Johnson's going to come back in the game here.
Yep.
But it's good to see, you know, a player like Bila making the adjustments in game 2 of having to face Devin Lee. You know, kind of saying, oh, he's going to go for the jump, so, you know, I'll go for the jump, and we'll kind of exchange that way.
I love that. All right, Smith and Bila beating out multiple chasers here. All right, Smith got called for a warning for not releasing her bludger when she threw it, so that's just a warning. All right, Littleton with Quaffle behind the hoops, trying to kick it back up to Cole. Cole can't handle it, tries to dribble it himself, breaks a tackle. Cole is beat. Mulcahy's driving, but there's a lot of confusion, but the refs are...
It'd be an impressive goal from Mulcahy because there were 5 black shirts and just him in that offensive zone. I think everyone else on his team was beat, and he managed to go around a couple people and score.
But hearing from the referees, it was some type of play, most likely a play after beat on Justin Cole, which caused the tournament. Which the question is, did the New York players stop playing because they hear the ref call?
Right.
So I think it's going to be a turnover. It's going to be New York ball.
So you had the call exactly.
Good job, me. We love me understanding referees.
So we'll see if New York can work the offense. They've got a 10-point advantage. And really, that's all they need to do. With their advantages that they have in the Seeker game, they just have to play to parity with Washington. They don't need to be better than them.
It's kind of what they did last year, too.
And I think that's the difference we're seeing is New York feels like they're comfortable out here, you know, going to their depth. And it feels like Washington's pressing for 20 straight minutes.
And when you're pressing like that for 20 straight minutes, you get tired.
Yeah.
In the second half, it gets hard.
Yep. So we see Tessa Mullins right back in the game. Of course, we were saying it's only going to be Mullins and Donnelly really switching back and forth in these games now with IL Silver out.
All right, Freed kicking it back out to Yanko. He can't field the pass. Loose ball on the ground. He's trying to get it. He somehow got it. He gets it out to Potter. Potter can't field it. Potter to Freed. Freed past one. Past another. Fakes and he scores. That is the Leo Freed we saw in all MQC season.
And more importantly, what an effort play by Yanko to get to that ball.
50-30 timeout Washington, and understandably so.
Yeah.
They have not come out into the second half the same way. Their strategy right now seems to be really just playing these give-and-go passes, and it's either completely there or there's nothing there right now for Washington.
I think they almost got lulled into a sense of, you know, security by how easy it was for a couple possessions there, and then, you know, Leo Freed and John Jackson got back on the field. It got a lot harder again, and they stopped. And, you know, that's a complicated way to beat Mark. It's not the simplest way to beat Mark. They're really kind of complicating their offense. And New York's doing a lot simpler. And really, I think the biggest difference is just the energy. New York is playing so fresh because they're going so deep into their depth. People are coming out. You see Yanko make an energy play like that. That's not a play you make 5 minutes into a shift. That's a play you make because you were just resting for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and you had rest from game 1. You didn't play 25,000 minutes. Now, it's not like New York is not playing anyone big minutes. John Jackson's obviously playing big minutes. Lindsey Morello's obviously playing big minutes. Mike Lee has been playing big minutes. But it's that they have subs. They're going into these benches. And Washington has it. We haven't seen Generate. We haven't seen Ben Phillips. We haven't seen these really we haven't seen Julie Nutzel. Really talented players that are sitting on this bench that, you know, the question is, can they make these impact plays? You know, we were huge on what Riley Stars was doing on the field. So it's interesting to see that they're not going to do it as well.
Yeah.
And speak of the devil. It's TJ
It's just like your entire Trudeau's head, Harry. Yeah, I'm excited to see TJ. I thought this college season he was one of the most talented quaffle players in college. He's just an absolute spark plug. Can beat almost anybody off the dribble and has a great mid-range shot. And now we finally get to see him here halfway into game 2.
And I think you want to get – Bila immediately gets beat. Healed with Cole. Cole's catching this. Cole looking for the shot. Oh, tries to find Jenner, who just ran through the hoop. So there's nothing there as, again, Devin Lee all over the play.
I will say, you know, Generate was trying to kind of find a way to get open. I don't want to talk too long because we got a fast break going the other way.
Johnson Jr. Johnson's shot is blocked by Cole, but there's a jump ball forward that Johnson's going to try to fight and win. Yanko ends up with it. Hustle play again from New York. Pressured by Cole. Spin. Nothing home. Cole trying to make the wrap. Kicking over to Potter. Potter can't field it. Generate's got it.
Yeah. But, you know, Generate was kind of all over the play, but it kind of seemed like he was so all over the play offensively that Healed and Cole didn't really know what to do with it. So it'll be interesting to see if they can start to tamper down and figure out something together here. Mulcahy also on the field.
I mean, in this situation, you have just so many people who can win plays off the dribble and off these plays, and you want them to make these plays. You play the mismatches in this situation to see if they can get something done with it.
Philo looking to take an exchange here off of Lee. A long pass to Generate. What's Generate going to do here with the first time ball in hand?
Kicks to Cole. Oh, Cole got hit hard by Freed as he was driving in. There's loose ball on the ground, and New York's going to win it. That's a great pass from Generate to Cole, who had a headed steam, but Cole's just trying to go all the way through everyone, and Freed stood him up.
Yeah, I mean, the way kind of Freed shoots out in his tackles, it's not something you're always going to be ready with. But Cole has always had these presses on Freed that have really struggled him in the first game. This time he's able to slip out of one.
Like I said, those young rookie mistakes that we saw in that first game, they're not there. Freed is reading these. Freed knows this. He's too good, smart of a player to do it. And he rips his jersey in his first play.
He's going to have to get a new one.
All right, over to Johnson. Johnson against Generate, wrapped up hard here. Generate's all over, and he's got the ball, so he's just going to take it away.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We talked about energy coming out, and TJ has been energy since he's got on the pitch. Has it resulted in goals? No, but it's resulted in opportunities. It's resulted in being in the right place on defense when other people were starting to get a step slow, and a player like Yanko was beating them to all the balls.
And New York has done that the entire time. They're winning every loose ball. And it feels like those bouncing balls that end up flying through the zone and through people, New York wins them. Washington doesn't. Hi, TJ.
And it starts hurting when you start losing all the 50-50s because your defensive possessions get longer. You know, you get more tired. So Melissa Smith is headed into the box. More trouble here for Washington.
And it's brutal, and it's going to be New York with Quaffle immediately. And they have their team literally all standing next to each other, ready to explode the other way. They have CJ Jr. with a bludger. That could be just a straight-up drive here because Brian Mulcahy is on the other side of the hoops.
Yep. We've seen Cole make a number of ridiculous stops around the hoops, though, in this game. But he is on an island at the moment.
I mean, you send them all. I mean, why not? Send all three up, running lanes. Ainge Jr. makes a beat or tries to just make anything happen, and Ambila to get a distraction, one pass goal.
Yeah,
Cole can't stop three people.
And what I love is you can tell New York is talking about this fast break right now on the stoppage. We were talking about in the first game, Washington chose not to go on that one. I said you knew it because they weren't talking about it. New York is talking. Leo Freed wants to run.
He's going to take up, looking for a play here. Bila gets beat. Freed shoots. Freed scores. He's got such a nice, pretty shot.
Yeah, and, you know, it was the one player on the field he knew he could get by because he's played against him before.
All right, 60-30 the score. Trudeau back into the game. Washington is just, they're not risking anything. Trudeau, Bear, Burgess, Hicks.
Yeah, it's been 3-0 since they left the field.
Burgess makes some clear beats there. Mullins is going to beat out Burgess. Here's Quaffle on the deep left side.
Julia Bear never saw Tessa Mullins. And now Leo Freed's looking to break.
Freed down the field. Freed shooting, scoring, takes a hit and gets the goal for it, though. 70-30.
Yep, it's a hat trick in this one for Freed, and this game is getting out of hand. And Washington's already used their timeout.
There's no in that situation, and there's another whistle. The only thing that this could be is some type of late hit on Trudeau, in my opinion.
It was a little late, I thought, but we'll see what the call is.
I think it's fine. I think it's just bang, bang. I don't mind that type of play happening, but we're going to see what this call is. It might be a late hit on Trudeau. It might be a warning, might be a card, but it's something. It's a talking to.
Of course. And, you know, sometimes if you're worried about hits getting a little late, you need to control the game. Even if you don't throw a card, you know, you want to make sure everyone's talking, everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously there's going to be some frustration on this Washington side at this point because things are not going their way.
No, they're not going their way at all. It does not look like it's going to be a card. Freed wants it, but it's not. It's going to be 70-30. Still, for New York, they get the goal out of it. They're not going to get the card. It looks like it's just giving them the warning. Minson's not happy about it. Freed's not happy about it, understandably so.
Freed's already got to pay for New Jersey.
Got to give him the card at least. Well, you're the coach of Harvard. You give out that dentist money for it. You got it.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Nick Jablonski likes my joke. I got one fan out here.
Appreciate you went for coach of Harvard, not commissioner of MLQ.
Clearly, coach of Harvard is way more like on the upper echelon of like, I don't know the words. Words are hard. I don't have nothing for you.
You're doing great, Harry.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, 70-30. Trudeau bringing down the right side. Trying to find Mulcahy, but he's not open. He's covered by Yanko. Spin move there on Potter. Drops the ball, though. Another, nice move. Treader it. Faking, trying to go past Johnson.
Oh, my God! That is what they were missing. They were missing what TJ Jenner can do.
They're going the other way, though. It's Yanko. but it's kicking right back to Freed. Okay, New York slows it down. Mullins is going to beat out Hicks, and Burgess is going to get bludgeoned. It's going to slow down the possession. Mulcahy putting pressure on Freed, gets tackled, but finds Yanko. Cupid beats out Burgess now. Okay, slow down. But, oh, my God, that play from TJ Jenner was beautiful.
I mean, that's who he is. That's why I was so shocked we never saw him in game 1.
And it was crazy. Like, he did it from a weird angle, threw a tackle, and just found a way to score. Hicks gets beat here. Here comes Freed. Freed trying to find Johnson. Johnson Jr. over to Yanko. Yanko scores. It's beautiful.
That
It's
is
gorgeous
such
passing.
good ball movement. From depth players, it's amazing to see what this New York team's managed to put together in a month.
It's Mullins making a great beat on Hicks, who didn't see her. I think it was Mullins. It was either Mullins or Cupid, but both of these two players making a great beat on Hicks, who didn't see it. And then just a 3-pass, just passing around one defender, and they couldn't do anything about it.
But, like, you think about the players who did that. So, Leo Freed only got down here to join the team for practices like a week and a half ago. Tessa Mullins is brand new to New York. Michael Johnson's been out of the sport for like 4 years. And Yanko, it's not played with any of these people before. And they're just linking up and being in all the right spots.
But if you know how to play the game, these are not crazy plays to make.
No. But it's also a testament to the coaching staff and what they're being able to put together this early into the season.
Minson has done a great job. And look at the score right now. 80-40. They're shellacking them right now. Curious what the time is in this game, though. Thanks, Nick. Nick, give me the time. It's 15 minutes into the game. So 15 minutes in, 80-40 New York leads. There was a card on that play against Jenner, I believe. I think it's for reckless dislodgement of hoops. He's not going to serve a penalty for it because the goal happened.
Yeah, and of course you do get 3 yellows here in MLQ. And actually in all Quidditch in the U.S. at this point.
All right, Jenner driving, Jenner shooting. He scores. TJ Jenner making an impact immediately.
Yeah. Leo Freed and TJ having fun playing against each other again. This is their 3rd matchup of the spring already.
I love watching these two play. All right, 80-50 the score. New York, very slow, methodical, just bringing it up, getting set on the possession.
I'll say, I wonder if they ever switch because Leo Freed has played point against Jenner to success before. So far, nobody's been able to land a hand on him at point.
Well, we haven't seen the green headband that much at point at all either. All right, Jenner putting pressure on Yanko. Yanko back to Freed. Freed pressured by Bear. Spins out of the tackle. It's Annika Kim now in the game at Chaser as well. Now Freed gets a beat on Bear. Freed faking, looking for Yanko. Passes low, but he's going to get it. Yanko. Hicks dodges a beat. Here comes Freed driving on Generate. Oh, Generate's broom flew out.
Yeah,
it's going to be a card on Generate. I love Generate's energy. He's playing with a lot of it, and it is going to stop this play. This goal from Freed, but just a small mistake changes everything because if he stays in the room for just a second, that's Mulcahy going the other way and getting a goal.
Yep. The problem being that if it is called, it'll be a second yellow. That's probably going to keep him out of most of the rest of the game because you just can't risk much of it from that point on.
Brutal. Is reckless dislodgement a yellow?
Not 100% sure.
Oh, no. I just got told from the box, reckless dislodgement of hoop is a blue card, so it's not a stacking penalty. Okay, this is going to be, it's an easy yellow card on TJ there for diving in a tackle, losing his broom. I believe this is a timeout for New York.
Yep.
So we're coming the second time out of this game, 80-50 the score. New York's been controlling this game.
Controlling this game while sitting a lot of their stars. We talked about how star-reliant they needed to be going forward. I mean, we've only seen a few minutes out of Lindsey Morello. We've only seen a few minutes out of John Jackson. And obviously, Isla Silver is out for the rest of the day, and we didn't see that much Devin Lee either. But Kellen Cupid's had a big game. Tessa Mullins had a big game. So many of these depth players, Yanko, some really nice plays as well.
And they've been everywhere, and they've been able to go into that bench. Freed, huge game in my opinion. Leo Freed has absolutely been a difference maker in the second part of this game. You were able to take Jackson out, and they were able to bring in Freed, and he has been lights out for them. And that's huge to have that second shift from a young player with that much athleticism to make play after play after play. And they're just beating Washington at what we thought Washington's game was. The Quaffle game. They're out hitting them. They're out hustling them. They're out passing them.
Yeah, 3 goals and a hockey assist in the last 4 times that New York scored. Michael Johnson technically got the assist with a little pass off to Yanko. But, yeah, and now they're going to get another chance in a power play to go back up 4. Washington's getting to the point where they're going to need to find a way to catch a snitch. And, that TJ Jenner's in the box. He's got 2 yellows. You're not likely to pick up a yellow while you're seeking. Sorry, he's only got the 1. I apologize. But, yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what the strategy is and what they try to do here.
All right, we're going to get reset from the timeout. Freed has Quaffle right here. He's got Kerry Donnelly right in front, who trying to jump that whistle and make this beat on Burgess. Burgess is most likely going to just pass this ball right back to Hicks. No. Yes. Freed driving, feed casting to Kim. Kim shot. Score. Easy.
Great find. Another assist for Freed. He's taking this one over.
Yep. And this is the Freed from Harvard who's doing it for New York. College game reflecting in MLQ.
Yeah, and Annika Kimmer, first goal in MLQ. The 19-year-old from the Rutgers program. Yeah, you feel old, don't you, Harry?
Stop. Love the young talent. All right, 90-50 the score. Trudeau coming in,
Nice
dodged the
block.
beat from Cupid, passing over to Mulcahy, but Johnson is all over it. And now he's looking to turn it up the other way. Oh, he's hit by Trudeau, though, and he's going down immediately.
And that might have been back across the keeper zone. We'll see what the call is.
But Johnson's not the keeper, so it doesn't really matter. All right, Leo Freed does have it. All right for the reset. Good call.
No call here from Amador.
Mulcahy wants it, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's you got to ask, right?
Yeah, I respect it. All right, Yanko. 90-50.
We get Byron Ng here in the beater game alongside Kerry Donnelly.
Yanko over to Johnson. Johnson gets beat. That pass was not great for Bianco.
A little forced.
Yeah.
Yanko seems a little more comfortable behind the hoops as that off-ball option than he does as the ball carrier.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really interested to see Mulcahy playing behind the hoops the entire time. We didn't see that at all points last year. He was kind of all over the field, and he's been there the whole time, and I don't think they're using him there in the right ways right now. They're trying to force that ball to him, and when they're playing this match, he's not getting the space that you want him to play in.
Right.
This one is going to be a screen, though, behind the hoops with Stars and Mulcahy. Stars over to Mulcahy on the far edge.
So get some ball in hand. We'll see what he can do with it. You know, he hasn't played a lot with Trudeau and Bear so far this evening, so we'll see if that changes anything up in the way they are able to use him.
Trudeau with Quaffle. He's got Nardone right in front. And that's Jason Ng in the beating game. Donnelly dodges the beat, then beats out Mulcahy. Ng putting pressure on Trudeau. Trudeau blocked it. And then Trudeau throws it the other way, and it's picked up by Jackson. There goes Jackson. Jackson's flying down the field. Past one, past another, breaking the tackle. Scores! John Jackson in transition is deadly.
Yeah, and this is falling apart, and it's the beaters again. You know, Nardone, even fresh there, just misses a beat, a pretty, I'd say, standard beat on Donnelly, and that blows up the whole play. Byron presses really nicely, and now we've got Trudeau going down hard and he's going to step out of the game.
Yeah, that's brutal for Washington if he's out. You know, he's one of their main seekers, too. They need him to be healthy for this game and for this season. Yeah. All right, Cole coming into the game for Trudeau.
And we're nearly 18 minutes into this game.
So we're coming close to the second half here. Nardone able to get one bludger back. Stars, Quaff on the right side. 18 minutes, 2 minutes till the intermission. Stars with Nardone in front. Nardone just playing slow, trying to find something. Over to Bayer. Bayer back to Cole, pressured by Mike Lee. But Mike Lee's going to immediately get beat out, so Cole has space.
You know, Cole's going to have to play a lot of minutes if Trudeau can't come back into these games.
Or they go to Ben Phillips.
Yeah, I'd love to see him out here.
Cole finds the Littleton fighting Bayer. Oh, I don't know who touched it.
I think we
it's
get Bear
Cole.
that one.
160. Here comes Jackson the other way. Jackson kicking over to Yanko. Yanko pressure. Yanko wrapped up by Cole and brought down hard. That was very clearly illegal, in my opinion.
I agree.
Stars going to pick it up. Stars picked up by Yanko. Flips it back to Cole, stays in bounds, and it's going to be Washington ball. That's a nice play from both Cole and Yanko.
I was going to say the same thing. That just heads-up plays all around. You love to see it. And again, as Kerry Donnelly goes down hard, we're going to have a stoppage. But, you know, it was David Littleton who made that play on the offensive end, and that's another player that hasn't played a lot of minutes lately. It feels like Washington condensed their roster so early into this series, and it's been hurting them.
It 100% has, and it reflects on the score. It's like they went all out in game one, and they got bit for it.
Right.
They got bit for playing two lines, saying, okay, we're going to win with two lines, or two lines are better than anyone else's. And New York said, you know what? We have a ton of athletes. We have a ton of good players who can make plays, who can pass, who can drive, who can dish, who can do whatever they need to do and score. And they have. And they played with a ton of energy. And that's been huge for them.
Yeah, for sure. And it's all those fresh faces. But, you know, if Donnelly's going to come off the field here, if she's out as well, Coach Frank Minson's going to be starting to be forcing some really difficult decisions in his beater depth chart with Ayala Silver and Kerry Donnelly potentially out for the rest of the evening. They're going to have to mix things up. We haven't seen, I would say, any like 2-male sets from them at all so far this evening. But you know, I don't know if Tessa Mullen's going to be able to play the next 40 minutes of gameplay that's going to be required.
Yeah, if she's the only one that is there, it really isn't anyone unless they go old school and go Lindsay Morella head beater.
Hey, she's done it before.
She has done it before. Yeah, no, that almost assume that that's what they're going to have to do here.
Yeah. It said, I mean, Mullins, as a lot of these college players have, something we haven't talked about, a lot of these club players are used to playing their 5-minute shifts and getting off. A lot of these college players are used to 25-minute shifts.
But it's a different style of game where you can take those breaks
For
in
sure.
between things. No one's going to hit you in every single little moment. All right, Washington starting up. Next possession, off the injury timeout. Cole over to Bear. Very patient is Washington right now.
Yeah, but you got to make them count at this point. You got to start finding rhythm in your offense in a way that they haven't been able to.
Nardone is basically walking them all the way behind the hoops here, trying to make something happen. And it's a really dangerous spot.
And this marked defense is just paying dividends. I mean, he doesn't have a pass up to Littleton. He's completely marked by Potter.
Really only has Bear to go to. And
But
Bear's covered by Mullins.
Yeah. And all he can do is walk it back out. And this is this marked defense. It's been so effective that they haven't had an answer for.
All right, there's Bear moving. Right up to the top with the quaffle.
And she's got a shot if they let her get to the zone. But, again, it's going to be Mullins stepping up there.
But it's so far out. It's such a hard shot to hit. Bear taking it down the right.
And
That's a Cole.
That's the rotation to this mark where they always meet you just in time to make it not an easy shot for you.
Cole.
Oh, what a dodge.
Knew it was coming, too.
But
This
Mullins
kid's
is going to miss her
flying.
beat.
Ing's going to put pressure. He's just holding it. He's looking for stars, and it's intercepted by Yanko, and that is intermission?
It's possible. But I just love everything I saw from New York's defense there. They were flying everywhere. Obviously, the incredible dodge by Ing to eventually kind of start that process. But, again, it was just someone jumping in and picking off a pass.
And it's just Washington confused what to do in the mark. They didn't look comfortable there, and they weren't making the plays that they need. And they're down by 4 right now. So the set score, 60 points over the leading score, so it's going to be 160 again. Or not again this time. I'm in 160 set score, 35 is the snitch, Cooper's the snitch again. Washington needs a snitch catch right now, or they need to explode in this second in part of this game, aim to make something happen in the quaffle game.
And they've got the players who could explode, but is TJ Jenner going to come in and make the catch? And if they don't trust him as much as Seeker, do you maybe want him in the quaffle game as the player who can take on someone in one-on-one? That's something they haven't had. They have not been able to beat New York in one-on-ones. TJ Jenner's the kind of player who could do that, but also he might be the only person on your team who might catch the snitch.
And that's the thing is you need to go for that. And the question is if you go with where you put Jenner is really the biggest factor in this and also what does New York do with Mullins and their beating court right now? Are they going to be able to really make these plays in the second half if they don't have a sub for Mullins really consistently, or they have to go deeper into their chaser line and play more of Kim and more of Rafa trying to make these big stops and these big Washington chasers?
That said, I mean, they are so deep at that position. I mean, all 4 of them have shown real sparks. I mean, players like Morello and Potter don't need to show sparks at this point. Their resumes are defined, but some of these younger players are definitely starting to show those sparks.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I think Washington has to come out hot. They have to fly at this snitch right now to make something happen.
Yep. And we'll see what the secret decisions are on both sides. Cupid's been out of the game for a while, so I imagine he'll get the start coming off of his catch in game 1.
I see the yellow headband on him. He's down straight to the box, so no questions asked.
I mean, remember, in game 1, the issue is that he got caught out as being a beater at the 20-minute intermission.
Well, those things do happen, I guess.
And it is going to be Jenner getting the start. So it's the same pair that were on the pitch at the time of the catch last time. Let's see if Jenner is as reckless in a situation where both seekers are at play.
Now, I'm going to note on one thing that I see far in the background for anyone who sees at home, Carrie Donnelly sprinting back and forth. So hopefully that ankle is okay, as she is just doing cut drills and trying to see if she is okay to play in this one. And if she can, huge for this New York team.
And Carrie Donnelly is one of the most fit people on this team. I mean, she does a ton of running. She definitely is a player who, can give it her all, knows her body, and, if she's good to go, it's going to be a big boon for New York.
Absolutely. Okay, can see what's delaying the start?
I think the refs are just talking some things over.
As they do. That's
Yeah.
definitely, as I
Just
absolutely know
just
what
more
refs do.
time to enjoy the Manhattan skyline behind the field on this literally perfectly temperatured night.
All right, there's the restart of it. New York's going to start. They're going to slow it down. Just get this ball back to Jackson. Washington's going to reset everything. They're going to make a bunch of subs coming in. It's Rachel Heald. It's Bernie Burgess making subs. New York as well. Molly Potter's in. CJ Jr.'s in. Tessa Mullins still in. And now the Seekers are released.
Okay, Cupid's going to get first shot here.
Jenner gets beat. Ooh, the beat knocked his broom out far away. This does not help. Jackson's driving. Jackson getting past one. Wrapped up by Stars. Shot doesn't find, but Potter's shot is good. 110-260.
Yeah, right away, a big performance there. But again, even John Jackson's not winning in these no-budget situations. You always need some help. TJ Jenner's getting a great shot here. He did go over the top of Cooper to no effect, and CJ Jr. clears him out.
Hicks is going to get beat out as well. Cole can't even get past the midline right now. He's having a really hard time getting past these beaters. Junior and Mullins are just standing so far up.
This is a potential coin flip situation again. Let's see if Jenner learns his lesson.
Oh, the snitch is down. I don't see a tail in anyone's hand. It looks like Cooper still got his tail.
It looks like Jenner is still willing to flip these coin flips. I'm not sure it's the right play.
Here's Cole driving, trying to find screens, trying to get through one. Jackson's making the wrap. Ball's loose on the ground. Nothing home.
Yeah, you know, you saw he found that one angle, and I think he just needed to shoot a little bit earlier. There was no way he was getting all the way to the hoops, and Jackson met him before he could.
And it's interesting because you're not seeing Cole ball fake. You're not seeing him try to get John Jackson to bite. You know, if John Jackson is forced to commit to the shot, you know, that's the problem right there. When you can't find that sort of second edge, you can't make a keeper stay honest. Morella now trying to dodge Bear, and she will. She crosses the midline, covered by Cole.
The problem is New York is extending to a point where even if Jenner gets a catch here, it's going to be a problem.
And Jenner is getting time. Here comes Mike Lee driving. Mike Lee faking, gets past one, loses the ball, but Morella got it and scores.
And it's Morella and Potter back-to-back, and that is the value they have in this quaffle game.
120-60. I mean, we're talking about a Team USA pair, female chasers and Bear and Heald, and Molly Potter and Lindsay Morella are just outplaying them right now, it feels like. Or at least they're being used more. Jenner taking a shot at the snitch, tries to make something happen, but can't find it.
I mean, I feel like outside of when there was a contested snitch, nobody's gotten close to Cooper this evening.
Okay, Washington is just like crowding everyone for a bunch of screens, and it's not working.
Oh, and they never saw Tessa Mullins beat coming. Now it's going the other way.
There's no passing options for Washington. They're just trying to double screens. Here comes Morella. She shoots. She scores.
Oh, and that's what we saw in game 1, too, that mid-range shot coming through big in the end of the game. And Iannucci has the grab. New York is about to win this series.
Vinny Iannucci flying into the field and just almost too clean, too easy.
And this is going to be, if this catch stands, this is going to be an absolute blowout, 165-60, a statement win from the New York Titans.
Yes, game 1, Washington in control most, but this one, oh, no good.
We got a little too hyped too early there.
Oh, but I was so excited.
I know. It's you know, it's still a 7-goal lead, and they're still only 3 away from a win.
Looked good. Unsure why it's no good, but these things happen.
Yeah.
All right, 130-60. Set score still ill. 160. 3 away is New York from that Morella goal. Trudeau is in the game at Seeker.
Good to see him at least on the pitch. You know, he went down injured earlier.
Classic for Tyler, just being able to deal with every single hit and just bounce back. Oh, definitely just beating out Colin Bourne immediately. New York's got him in a ton of control. Here's Iannucci.
He's given some really good shots here on Cooper.
He has a really interesting approach. A lot of two-hand stuff, one side then the other side, and that works really well against Cooper. All right, Bear behind the hoop, trying to drive on arbitrating. Ooh, makes him look a little silly there. Chance there for Iannucci. Tries to go between the legs, can't get it to go. Here's behind the hoops is Cole. Cole's trying to find anyone, tries to kick it to Bear, but the pass is too high. Bear now chased down by 2 different people, trying to spin out of Morella's tackle. She does. There's no cutters. Now Heald's trying to get back into this play. Cole trying to fight for this ball here with Johnson. Just keeps it in bounds. He's got Heald wide open.
Yeah.
Heald can't complete the pass, though. They can't find the pass. Heald can't handle it. It was too down low. Loose ball, and it's arbitrating's.
Well, it took Cole.
Oh, Trudeau's got the snitch.
It took Cole so long to find Heald there.
She was
wide
open for like an hour.
And she is letting Cole know it right now.
Wide open, and Cole also lobs it. He's got to bullet that to her, put it right on her hands, and make that play.
Yep, but importantly, Trudeau, if he has come down with the grab, has given Washington a spark of life here.
I mean, it gives him a chance. It's not going to be easy. They would have to outscore New York 7-3.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And I would be interested to see if the Seeker strategy gets switched up in Game 3, because it seems like the bigger, longer Seekers are having much more success against Cooper than the Kellen Cupids and the TJ Generates.
I mean, you have Cupid making the first catch, getting obviously the contested catch with Generate, but from experience with with Cooper, he's really good in these sort of stand-up physical battles that you usually get these short, stocky, or sort of short arm or short stocky or short quick seekers have. So when you have that length to get around him and force him moving, it makes it a lot easier.
For sure.
Here.
So catch is good.
So it's 95-130. Washington back into this game.
I got to say, that last goal that was sitting there on a plate for them would make things feel a lot better right now.
Absolutely. All right, armor trading now. Bringing Quaffle up the center of the field.
Colin Bourne getting some minutes here.
Immediately comes out Brew. Devin Lee scaring Diana Howard off Broom. Lindsay Morella with Quaffle. Healed covering. Healed beat. Bunch of beats happening. Morella's just patient as she's letting all of her beaters do work. Morella faking. Nothing.
She wants a shot. She's looking for it, but Diana Howard gets the better of her.
It's Cole with Quaffle. Bludgers are on the ground. Devin Lee's going to pick one up. It's going to be bludger control with Washington right now.
Yeah, it didn't seem like that half-court offense had many ideas to it.
No, Morella had that ball sticking on her hands probably too long.
Yeah, I expect to see them sub out of it. Frank Minson is going to enter the Quaffle game for one of the first times in Game 2. Had a couple nice shifts there in Game 1.
All right, Byla coming into the game with Smith. Healed. Healed wants the ball. She wants to control this offense right now, and deservingly so. Healed driving. Looking for Cole for the air. Oh, he caught it with one hand, took a hit in the air. I'm surprised there was nothing called on that one. He got a hit in the air. The question is, I guess they were playing the ball.
It did look like everyone was playing the ball.
All right, we love that.
Yeah. We're always down to let the kids play.
We let the kids play.
13-9, game to 160.
And we'd love to see it. Carrie Donnelly's back into the game.
Yep. With
Jason Ing. All right, so it's armor trading. It's Frank Minson. It's Johnson, and it's Morella in the Quaffle game. Biala beats out Ing. Armor trading gets past Mulcahy, but isn't for long. He's going to back all the way up center field, center pitch. Morella, that's a reset used. I guess armor trading did cross that line, and he did again.
And Washington's hype, and it's good to see this team get a little momentum, get a little energy. They just need to find goals.
Armor trading just couldn't handle that moment, couldn't handle that pressure, and just a little unaware of where that line is. He did step across 2 times. He's just backing up and not really sure. He's feeling the pressure, and it is going to be a reset, double reset.
No, it's not going to be called.
Or it's not. Interesting. He definitely did. But never mind. The refs got the call. Here's Minson on the left side of the field, far side of the field. Takes a pass back to Morella. Morella shooting top hoop, no good.
Hey, she hasn't missed many today. I don't stop her for trying that one. But the thing of the matter is, they need 3 more goals, and they've outscored Washington 13-6 in the Quaffle game in this game. And New York,
didn't know that.
And New York is, using all its depth. You mentioned armor trading getting a little overwhelmed there, but they could have gone to John Jackson anytime they wanted, and now they have gone to John Jackson. But they're giving their players minutes,
and that's important, and that's why they're ready for it. All right, Generate is back into the game, so the other Washington's spark plug player to make something happen. Here's Healed. Healed's getting pressure. Back to Generate. Generate faking, gets past Minson, trying to find Cole, but Johnston just read it.
Johnston's really been in some passing lanes over the last few defensive possessions in a big way. Hasn't contributed a ton on the offensive side. Probably still getting back to the swing of things. But, when you have a good sense of, sports and, you can just be in passing lanes and just kind of read plays, you can make a big impact.
And he's making a lot of the one-timer passes, those little quick ones to just keep the play going to allow them to find someone to score.
Yep.
All right, Jackson with Quaffle. Minson commanding things behind the hoops.
Yeah, the Kellen Cupid Tessa Mullins line that was so good at the beginning.
Oh, that's a huge hit by Cole on the sideline on Minson.
Cole is sneaky physical.
Sneaky?
He doesn't look physical.
Sneaky is the incorrect word. I would say incredibly physical.
That's how you get the Team USA tag.
The question is, Washington's bench is furious about something.
So I'm guessing it's not going to be a turnover to Cole.
What?
Oh, no, it is.
Okay.
No.
I don't know what they're mad at, but they got what they wanted.
I mean, the Admirals, it's an emotional point at this point. You are down and out. You've been in this situation. It's not a fun situation to be in.
No, it's not. All right, we're starting the repossession. Justin Cole, after making that hit, subs out for Tyler Trudeau. Trudeau putting pace now. They're pushing deep into the zone. Trudeau taking the contact, finds Healed.
And Jackson comes down with the block.
Huge play, and he's going the opposite way, running. Looking for Minson on the other side. Minson faking, shooting, scores!
Oh, what a transition goal.
Jackson to Minson. And I love how Minson made that play. Jackson came out of the game looking a little hobbled as he came off the field.
Yeah,
He's
you saw him
for
pointing to
free.
the bench right away. I don't know if he took a hit on that play, but maybe just the contact when maybe he stumbled over something making that block.
Cramp. There's so many things.
It's fine. They've got plenty of depth. That's been the story of the weekend.
Over to Generate. Generate with Freed. Faking. Shooting. No good there. But it's going to be a quaffle most likely won by Washington because Nardone is protecting it. But I like that from Generate. They're getting a shot, and they're getting a good shot.
Yeah.
140 to 95 this score. Trudeau in the middle of the field. Trudeau to Generate. Generate shot, no good. Loose ball. Trying to be won by Mulcahy.
What an effort play by Mike Lee. Diving out and kicking the ball back.
And it's going to be Morella. Morella. Pressured by Mulcahy, but nothing home.
Only 2 more goals now for New York to come away with this one. And the series at that.
Mulcahy's beat. Minson behind the hoops. Minson pressured by Farnan. Shot no good. Trying to get this ball is Morella. It is a reset. She's beat immediately. Ball's rolled back. It's Generate with it. Mullins actually threw the beat away. Oh, Generate lost the ball. Tries to dribble, and now Minson's got it. Now Minson's the other way. Minson driving, shooting. He hit that shot. That was disgusting.
I wasn't happy about him for taking the one on the last possession. I thought it was a little long. Apparently he can hit some of those, so.
That's a beautiful shot from Minson. 150-95. Game point. And Byron Ng into the game.
Bludger control is with Washington. They're definitely going to keep it in order to be able to make a defensive stand here because they need more than goals. They need stops, too.
Farnan beats out Cupid. Lots of bludgers on the ground. Farnan. That's Dale Farnan. There's a lot of same names.
And there's no bludgers back.
Here's Mike Lee driving. Mike Lee, Trudeau's beat. Mike Lee shooting. Goal. Game.
We have a call way, way back. They're going to have to discuss it.
If the goal is good, New York has won the game and the series. If there's a call here, we play on. I don't know what happened, to be honest. I can't tell you.
I'm guessing there was a call in the beater game kind of behind the play or at the time of, that block being made.
Absolutely.
It was another not very good shot attempt there. Okay, he just tried to rip one middle hoop against, these really athletic defenders.
And again, it's a mark. They're not finding their unmarked chaser on passes when they don't have the ball. Thank you.
Yep.
So no goal.
And one more chance for Washington to hold on here.
So Byron Ng getting a card, maybe? I think. Yes. He's going to the box. So I'm assuming some type of card. Yellow, blue. At this point in the game, I don't know how much it matters. But he's going to get a card for this. So New York's going to be down a person at the time. Julia Baer is going to have Quaffle way up the field here. But Kellen Cupid is near her. So this fast break might be a little hard.
If she, keeps the Quaffle in front of her and moves. If she manages to keep the Quaffle and move away from Cupid, Farnan might be able to get in his face enough for her to take off.
Nardone has a bludger way down the field as well, so there is some type of protection for Bayer.
I would just position myself to block, two-handed, and let Farnan get in the play for me and then just take off.
Does Mullins have a bludger? Where is the third bludger? Oh, it's behind the hoops. And Bayer's just going to slow it down. Now going to start to take off. Here comes Nardone. Over to Derek Farnan. Cupid's beat. Farnan to Mulcahy. Fields it kind of strangely. Now he scores. There's Brian Mulcahy, and he breaks the tackle for free in a nice little showy way.
Yep. And Farnan's going to beat out Mullins there, which means bludger control is going to stay with Washington. A sign of life here.
150 to 105. 6 away is Washington. 1 away is New York. It would be an insane comeback if Washington could pull it off. Mike Lee to Freed. 1 away. Nardone makes the beat. Here comes Freed. He got beat. The ball's on the ground. Mulcahy's got it. And now there's pace in front. Mulcahy breaking the tackle. Finding Trudeau. Trudeau trying to pick it up. Trudeau spinning out of a tackle. Trudeau wrapped up by Freed. Fire off to Farnan. Farnan scores.
We've got a call coming, but that could be 2 quick ones for Washington, and we're getting a little tighter here.
If the goal's good, it's 115 to 150. Bludgeon Control still sitting with Washington. Heather Farnan and Cody Nardone have been very dominant in this one right now.
I do think the call is going to go against New York. Yep. Just going to be a card on New York for some illegal contact. Negated by the goal. We will play on.
All right, so 115, 150. 5 away is Washington now.
Like you said, would be a comeback for the ages.
Washington not really playing that press. Nope, they can't because Mullins is there. 115, 150. Mike Lee trying to be the calming presence, playing with the athletic line of Ing and Freed.
He and Freed are going to switch positions. Freed going to a roll behind the hoops with Lee taking the ball handling roll over.
Trade of beats, a lot of beats. Here comes Freed. Shot, no good, missed it. But Morella might be able to field this one. Ooh, she kept it from being a reset. She dodges the beat, throwing it way out to Freed. Whoa, Trudeau hit Freed hard. There's definitely got to be a call here, and there will be.
Yeah. I'm not sure I've ever seen a hit like that.
Well, Freed, it's interesting. It was almost like a tabletop because Freed has to go down to pick that up, and Trudeau is going 100% to try to make this hit. Doesn't close out correctly. Doesn't slow himself down when he sees Freed is kind of defenseless here, and suffers for it. Now the problem is Freed is right next to him.
Yeah, I mean he'll make this shot all day if he's getting the ball back where he is right now. The only possibility I think at this point would be Heather Farnan throwing her bludger to block the shot.
She is standing, I think, in front of the hoop as she reshifts her position.
Nobody saw that.
I love it, by the way. This is not me bad talking about that. That is fantastic. Big supporter of that. It's going to start with Ing because Freed is beat.
Okay. Jackson just asking for some clarifications from the ref. And Ing's going to get a chance to end this game and win this series for New York.
So what's happening right now? Kellen Cupid having the same question I'm having. Can you move on the restrictor line? You can move on the restrictor line.
If it's an advantage call, yes.
I didn't know that. Oh, I did know that, but that's why I asked. I was curious. I was saying Byron is going to move on the restrictor line, just like I asked, which means Byron can move to anywhere on the keeper
along
zone
the keeper zone line. That's
okay.
his option. That's his option.
Thank you.
So now Dale Farnan's being moved. We're figuring things out.
It's just chess pieces with referees. It makes sense when you really think about it. Okay. Ing, chance to win it.
It looks like he's going to fire one.
He does take it. He missed. It just blocked by Bear, and it goes potentially out of bounds.
I think they may be calling Farnan for a dislodgement.
Oh, my God.
If that's the case, it's a real bad read by Farnan because Ing was only ever looking at one hoop. I could tell from here what hoop he was planning on shooting on.
And he missed. Love that he took it, though. Okay. 2 Washington Quaffle players in the box right now.
And well, Leo Freed has almost made it back to the hoops. It's taken 2 stoppages to get there.
One day. But Ing does have this ball on the
I mean, at this point, they do not have a way to score. They're probably going to need to reset it.
I'm going to reset. Ing spins out of it.
Yep.
He's just going to take the reset. I don't know if it's an actual reset.
Yep, reset
It is the reset used. Okay, so that's the reset used. 150, 115.
They're also playing against 2 Quaffle players, so the odds they'll need to use the second one aren't that high.
I mean, that's the big thing. All right, Bear's going to get beat here. Here comes Lee. Lee launches it so far.
That was the only
Ing's
wrong play. Ing and Freed had both cut wide open to hoops, and he overthrew everybody.
Oh, you hate to see it. And Brian Mulcahy, savvy veteran, is moving super slow.
Yep, and they have budget control, so they're going to be able to defend their 2 chasers and hopefully kill off these penalties and give themselves a chance to stay in this game. This has been a wild ending.
Wow, this is a weird end of this game right now. Okay, 150, 115.
Devin Lee subbing back into the game.
And they definitely need him. They need someone. I think Morella's out there, but they need someone to take control right now. Mulcahy, pressured by Ing, immediately beat by Nardone. They just want to slow down. Trudeau's back in, so they killed one penalty.
Farnan's going to be a couple seconds behind. Mulcahy got beat, but that's fine.
Bears got it. Nardone is fighting with Lee. Devin Lee, that is. And Bear's just possessing. Pressured by Morello. Loses the ball. Ball on the ground. But Morello loses her broom. Now Bear's got it. That's an open Mulcahy, but that's a hoop that went flying away.
And Free just took it right off of him, but might be getting called for a foul.
There's got to be a dislodgement of the hoop there. That hoop went flying away, and no Washington player was close to it. We don't believe in hoops anymore. Just destroy them at will.
So I think
that's on
Freed
Freed.
is getting this penalty? Yeah.
Yeah, Freed went through the hoop. It's going to be Mulcahy's ball. He's got Bear right next to him, so it's
it
should be an easy one.
Which means it will be 150-125.
We say that.
I trust Mulcahy and Bear.
I trust Mulcahy and Bear too, but you know what? Let's wait for it to happen. But Freed is going to serve. It's going to be a 1-minute penalty. I think it's a blue card. Probably a blue card. What's happening with the bludger?
Just making sure the bludger's in the
also
right
something
place.
with the bludgers. This has been the most interesting 15 seconds of Quidditch of just absolutely nothing happening but penalties. Only penalties at the end of this game.
In fairness, most of them have been very cut and dry.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody's been giving the ref crew an option.
Okay, resetting it. There's a bludger on the ground right here, right in front of us.
So it's going to be a foot race between Lee and Farnan here. And if Nardone tries to go to minister it and Washington scores too fast, Ing might come flying down the field.
I mean, if Mulcahy gets what he wants and he's able to make this pass to Bear and Bear can just launch it 40 feet, they should have no problem.
That's the correct play. You are right.
And there it is. Bear doesn't fire it as far as I was hoping, but you know what? It's all good. And Heather Farnan is going to be able to get this bludger back, and Devin Lee is going to get beat out. So Washington, 125 to 150. They are creeping back.
Yep.
4 away for them, 1 away for New York, but John Jackson's back. So we're going back to it. The stability of this program, John Jackson, Mike Lee, Lindsey Morel, Devin Lee. That's the stability right there.
Basically everything they want in here, other than IL Silver, which they can't have.
But Tessa Millens has
been great.
She's been fantastic.
Yep.
Jackson, Mike Lee, behind hoops. Nardone putting pressure over to Freed. Freed pressured by Farnan. Dale Farnan makes the wrap, but all the way back to Jackson for a reset. Nardone's kind of out of this play. That bludger went flying off the field, so maybe New York has an opportunity. Farnan gets a beat trade. Here's Jackson finding Freed. He scores. That's the game.
He was sitting on that pass waiting. Tessa Mullins was over there. They were calling for it, and John Jackson delivers one last bullet into Washington.
And it's Devin Lee coming in, John Jackson coming into the game and getting it done. A big beat from Lee with a one bludger situation. John Jackson making it happen. New York's won the series in 2 games.
What
a shocking turn of events.
What a statement. And, even if that game got a little, iffy at the end, they still outscored them by, I think, 8 goals in the quaffle game.
Absolutely.
It's still a statement.
And this is New York coming out with a totally different style and playing it beautifully. They played Washington style. Beautiful ball movement, really aggressive, being really physical, moving the ball constantly, finding good drives, and then finishing hard with nice little plays. Yeah. It's so different than what we've seen from them, and it's beautiful to watch, and they just dominated with it. And it works when you have a beating core that has played very well and very deep.
Yeah, and they're getting their goals from a lot of sources. Yanko had some goals in that game. Obviously, John Jackson's going to have some games. Morella had some goals. Lee had a goal. Freed had a goal. They're doing it all up and down the roster, which is what they had to do because we didn't know what their quaffle game was going to look like. And what it's looked like is really solid top to bottom through this entire series.
And they played fantastic in this one. And now really becomes the big question. DC for DC. Washington has to get a game right now. They have to. This game is do or die, honestly. They can't die in this game. You can't go 0-3 to start the season. It just puts you in such a hard position to even have a shot at taking even second in the division.
Yeah, and we saw in these division with how close it was last year, every game matters. It doesn't just matter that you win series. In the old days, it was the best 2 teams are going to play, and whoever wins their series is going to win the division. That's all that matters. There's so much parity in this division that every single win matters. Washington needs to get their heads up. They need to clear off everything they've seen so far. I would love to see them reach into their depth more TJ Jenner. I'd love to see Ben Phillips out on the field. Let's see what this Washington team can bring if they can match what New York's been doing, which has really been a youth revolution.
Absolutely. And that youth revolution has absolutely revolted against what everyone expected, and they've gotten it done. My name's Harry Greenhouse. This is
Ethan Stern.
And we're going to sign off. We're going to get ready for Game 3 in about probably 15 minutes. We'll see you in a bit.